Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for coming here tonight. I just wanted to start off with acknowledging the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, the traditional custodians of the lands on which we meet today, and I'd like to pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging, and anyone else here today. I want to do a really quick thank you as well just to our sponsors. I'll go with Kate first. Thank you so much for the work. Sorry.
Welcome everyone. It's so lovely to see such a big crowd in our office tonight. If you don't know Thoughtworks, we're a technology company. We design and build custom software, everything from mobile apps to banking platforms. And yeah, we've been around for over 30 years. So, and the meetup's been around for 10 years. So we've been partnering with Design Thinking Meetup for a while now. Yeah. So enjoy the night. And if no one said it already, bathrooms are at the back to the left. Is there anything else we need to say?
No.
Woo!
Did anyone from Shapeshifters want to do a quick introduction? Yeah?
Hi everyone, I'm Diana, this is Alan joining me, and we're from Shapeshifters. We do strategic communication design. We help companies and teams communicate more effectively through visual storytelling. And we've got a special initiative with SydDT Design Thinking, where we encourage visual thinking through live scribing. So I'll talk a little bit more about it.
So tonight we have Shanna, who's going to be doing a live scribing. So essentially what happens is Shanna's going to be listening, and she's going to be sketching and writing down things that should capture the key essence of what you hear and experience tonight.
And you can see it on the screen.
Yeah, she's already got her canvas set up, looking pretty cool.
Yeah.
We also run our own meetup called Think Visual. Our last one was yesterday, and we also have an event tomorrow called Think Visual with your kids. So if anybody's interested in doing that kind of thing or getting creative with their kids, Jeremy's coming, yes. Please come along tomorrow. It's at Sydney Uni, starts at 11 o'clock, so yeah.
And the next Think Visual meetup, we have a special speaker. It's going to be Lucas here.
Oh!
Yeah. So please come along.
That's all, folks.
Yes. Thank you.
Maybe from you? Are you sure? Okay. And then just quickly, I'm Kylie. I work at Lanson Partners. We're a boutique recruitment agency. I look after our design portfolio. So if you want to have a chat, all things career stage journeys, I work with everyone at any particular stage. So always happy to have a chat regarding that. And a big thank you to the team and the rest of our organisers, to Ben, Lucas and Kate. None of this would be here if it wasn't for you guys. And just a show of hands, is it anyone's first time tonight? Oh wow, okay, amazing. If this is your first time, thank you so much for coming and welcome. Look, SydDT has been a community that, I'll give a special thanks to these guys as well, that they've been building for the last 10 years. So it's really fantastic to have you here, really just trying to create a community and space for a really diverse range of thought. So I really hope you find tonight valuable. And I will hand over now to Ben, just to talk about some of the upcoming meetups that we organise.
How is everyone? Very quick before we get into tonight, which is all the fun, but hopefully everyone knows that on Tuesday, or next week, is South by Southwest Sydney, all week. Anyone going? A few hands, awesome. And the good news is that we've got an Australia Design Thinking meetup on the Tuesday, and you don't need a South by ticket to be able to come along. So if you want to at least participate in something at South by and do it for free, there's actually a whole unlocked, which is Tumbalong Park. So you can come all week and it'll be a program that's free. And we've got our Design Thinking meetup in the park. So Tuesday Arvo, 3:30, and last year we had the park closed through a lightning strike, so we had to go to the pub for the whole meetup. So
It was really tough.
Well, at least have a pretense of doing just a completely networking, no content. If you're at South by, you know it's a lot of content, and so it's quite a nice little oasis just to go hang out and talk to people. Lots of drinks nearby. So it'll be BYO, bring a drink in, hang out in the park for an hour. And it's Australia Design Thinking. So hopefully you've seen now that we're a collective. We've got Melbourne, who also has a meetup tonight. So, hey Melbourne. So that says second meetup tonight. Brisbane, Byron, Adelaide. Where's Mons? Mons helps run Adelaide Design Thinking. An old school SydDT person that's now in Adelaide and representing down there, which is awesome. And we've got Brisbane and Byron, who I think I already mentioned. So, and Gold Coast actually has just joined. So we're doing it as a collective rather than just SydDT. So that's Tuesday. And then we've got 2 meetups in November as well. So our flagship annual State of the Design Nation, which is on the 13th of November. We have Ben Crothers, who does it every year. He's one of the judges for the Good Design Awards. So he sort of shares key highlights and reflections, not just of the winners, but also sort of mega trends and patterns and observations. And Neela will be co-presenting with him again, and we might actually be extending it past Good Design in the national version, because the World Design Conference was on last month, a couple of weeks ago. So that's last month. So we probably look at State of the World Design Nation. And then we'll finish the year on the 27th of November with a design mega meetup with our friends from Design Connection. So lots of stuff coming up before the end of the year. Put those dates in your calendar, because it's going to be busy. And now for the fun.
So I guess just really quickly, and thank you everyone again for coming here tonight. Jac and I were speaking a couple of months ago, and I think we can all acknowledge that the last couple of years have been really tough, and there's been a lot of noise, I think especially when it comes to some of the different processes, whether it's job hunting, searching, starting your role, so on and so forth. And really what we wanted to use today to do is just to cut through all of that noise and give people a really simple framework and terms of supporting across those different spaces for designers and people across this. And then just a really quick introduction for Jacalin. She is a fantastic product design leader. She's worked across the space for over 15 years in Singapore, Vancouver, Sydney, New York, you name it, for enterprise, startups, agencies, the whole shebang. So yeah, without further ado, over to Jac. And actually, no, I need Ben to help me with tech because I can't do that.
Sounds like. Oh, can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Woohoo! All right, cool. Hi, thanks for coming. Okay, I just landed back from Europe, so I have my accountability buddy here today to keep me away from jet lag. This is Andy with a glass of water. So if I drift away at any point during this presentation, he's going to splash me with some water. I thought about everything. Okay, so this is a little cute family photo of mine. I'm going to go straight into it. Set in the 80s in China, and what looks like a normal family photo, there's a lot of story packing behind it. For those of you who probably know about this fact, is that in China in the 80s, you're not allowed to have a second child, and that is me. So I am an illegal child, and it sounds casual, but at the time, it's actually a really challenging time for my family. They have a lot of the families, if they have second child and then have child again to trying to have a boy, right? And so when they have a girl, usually the little girl ended up in the foster care or get given away. My parents was legendary, and they decided to keep me around. And because of that, they have to climb mountains and swim rivers. So my mom had to hide her pregnancy from everybody, because if you get found out, the entire family loses their job and income streams. It's pretty serious. And I got basically raised up by my grandparents. I don't have a birth certificate. My grandma delivered me in a bedroom, and I get to call my auntie mom for at least the first 5 years of my life. So, before you feel sorry for me, I actually feel that it's actually pretty badass move from my parents, okay?
Yeah.
So, think about it. Firstly, I got raised up by my grandparents. What does it mean? I get to pretty much have everything and anything I wanted. And the second thing is that I somehow thought at the time, everybody's got one mom. I got two, suck it, right? So with that mentality and that rebel nature of this upbringing, I kind of started to feel that this story has embedded me through every single step of my journey, from China, all around the world, and then back to Australia. At age 18, 19, somewhere like that, that was the first time I got my one-way ticket. And I was like, that's it, I'm gone. I'm gonna try a venture and try to make my life somewhere else. The first stop I decided to go, it was Japan. Didn't speak the language. I don't have a job. I don't know anybody there. I've got $500 in my pocket. Let's go. So as soon as I landed in Japan, I made a whole lot of friends. And I normally sell myself short because I think about my experience as to how much people would pay me to do it and devalue myself, right? So usually at that time, I was just being a waitress. And watching all of my friends doing the typical teaching English in Japan, I'm like, I want to do that too, but English is not my first language. I can't do that, I'm not qualified. And one of my Canadian friends, Tom, his name is, I still remember, Tom was saying, look, if you try, it's 50%, and if you don't try, it's 0. Which one do you want to go for? And that sentence pretty much set me up for the rest of the journey. Over the next 10 years, I actually moved all around the world, wherever I feel like it's taking me to, and tried every single type of different design in the world. And from product to branding to designing flip-flops and events in Brazil to designing MoMA window displays in New York, branding in Vancouver and back here again. And I was having a ball because I always believe that if you're a designer and if I want to be a successful designer, you need to be able to place me in any situation that's not working and I will be able to solve the problem. Am I right? And at that point, I was like, I'm going to try a little bit of everything because I want to get to know what the challenges is out there. And while I was having a lot of fun, and I can do a lot of different design challenges for different type of companies, eventually I actually hit a plateau that I felt like I had lost my professional identity. Every job description I read did not serve the value that I could provide it. Every single job I go to interview, I try to tell the story that suits the job, but wasn't for me. So I felt lost, and this particular feeling lasted for at least quite a few years. I couldn't find my identity. And so this is the question I used to dread the most. When people ask, what do you do for a living? I don't know how to answer it. What do I do? Who am I? Who do I help to design? And how can I help people? I couldn't answer this question. And over the years, I've tried to figure out what is my answer and what is my identity, what makes me different. I couldn't. And so I feel like I had to break through that particular ceiling that somehow I placed myself into and other people is placed me into. Shout out to my niece, who's 12 years old, did all of these drawings for me as well.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so I quit design entirely and I was like, look, I'm just gonna do whatever that serves me and do whatever that serves my value, that proves me that I can do more than what I was paid to do. I started my own business, and all of these little pieces from my life, being an illegal child, moving all around the world, somehow shapes me into a different person on how I solve the problem along the way. When I started my business, I didn't have any money, and I'm not even a fashion designer, and I started a fashion brand. What? I mean, it's crazy. And that took a couple of years to get the ball rolling, but it takes guts and it takes a lot of resilience to go through it. I was able to, pitch myself and help startups and scale-up founders to help them to raise fundings. and also started teaching. Well, that experience in Japan teaching somehow rose into, building what I feel like is purposeful for me at the time as well. I did try all of these little things, and little by little, I feel like all of these little experiences and life challenges and insights that I gather all around the world has slowly building my identity a little bit more with more clarity. And one day I came across this picture, and I was like, oh my God, this is me. This is basically, he could be a cat, he could be a koala, he's an owl. He's funny, right? You've never seen him before, but you saw him once and you remember him. Because he's different. And I somehow thought, wow, this could be anybody, and this could be me. What is my story? And I started to really look back in all of this journey that builds that momentum. That the journey, that all of this story that made me felt lost were actually the superpower that built who I am today. The fact that I was born into a rebel family who trying to work around the rules and solve problems has built my mindset into seeing problems differently and maybe think about a different way to come up with a solution. Building businesses and working with different design companies and different type of clients actually built me into a system thinker. Moving all around the world, even sometimes without speaking the language, and learning having to speak with different people has developed me into someone that's really adaptable and be able to adapt into any culture, any company, and understand human a little bit better. And there's a little bit more story to it. At age 24, I actually got hit by a bus. I was in a coma and I survived. And that was, I think it's an optimistic event. While I wouldn't say everybody should go get hit by a bus, I actually am really grateful for that experience because that completely changed how I see life. That's a whole another story for another beer day. Anyway, all of these collective experiences has shaped me into my unique value proposition. What I used to think I was lost is become my superpower. I'm a natural born status quo challenger. I'm a business designer. I build business, I understand finance, and I can design as well. I'm a system thinker. I'm an X-shaped problem solver. I can do craft, I can do hands-on, I can manage, and I can look at numbers strategically. I also built multiple six-figure business on my own. And one of the things that I'm most proud of is throughout one of those businesses, I've sent 500 more girls in West Africa to go to school. None of this came from a job description. None of this. So the reason why I want to tell you all of that story is that everyone in every single life path that you've taken has actually led you to this point to find your true superpower. So don't try to ignore anything. Everybody you come across, they all have value. So I love to watch or listen to interviews by founders a lot because there's a lot of things, challenges that they go through and people that they met kind of inspire me to go, sometimes we got given this job description, but maybe there's a different perspective on what talent and high-performing individual looks like. And so I love this question. Ben Silverman, co-founder at Pinterest, and this question was raised to him at a university setting. What do you look for in an initial 10 hires? And if you know, building a startup, the 10 first initial hire is some of the most important people that you hire into the business. And this is Ben's answer. One shared quality I look for is people with crazy hobbies and generally curious in various things in life. That could be a product manager that's building a Lego pieces at home at nighttime. That could be a product designer that's teaching Italian language to kids over the weekend. Or an engineer that's actually building some sort of AI game. Christine is here is doing a lot of those things. The point is that every single one of us is so much more than your job title. Now, I'm a designer, and over time, I have met a lot of designers and looked at a lot of resumes over the seeing designers introduce themselves. They tend to box themselves into what the job wants from them, rather than what they want from the job, the other way around. Behind every single individual, there is you and the human of you with additional skills, transferable skills, values that are so much more valuable than your actual hard skills, communication skills as well, right? All of these things actually build who you are as a person that can set you apart from the others. And so over time, last couple of years, there's this one company I actually had, a lot of hiring spree for different designers. Hands up who are designers here today. Hey, awesome. Okay, so I looked at a lot of resumes. Well, usually you get 20 seconds on the portfolio website, and then you make a judgment of what this person is worthwhile for me to discover. And that particular position I was hiring is midway. And 99% of the portfolio looks like this. I am, insert your name, I am a designer from Sydney. Hands up if any one of you has a portfolio looks like that. Be honest, or seeing people looks like that, okay? Now the question from me to you is, think about it from a hiring manager's perspective. They're looking at 99 resumes in a day. And what do you think they want to see from you? Do they want to see another sentence that's cookie cutter from the rest of them? Or do they want to read something from you that's going to go, this is worth me scrolling down? Okay, I thought we are all designers, then we need to be able to design how people see us. And this is not just designers, right? It's relevant for everybody. We need to be able to design how people see our story. And if you hide it behind this template, then no one is going to be able to see it. That's your first impression. So, I believe that this is after many years, like at least more than 10 years, I also was trying to fit into that mold, right? And it's after I break out and go look inside myself, I realized that I spent too much time focusing on providing value for people, what other people want, and not what I want. And so it needs to turn the other way around. So today, we're all here because we want to try to discover our unique value proposition. And each one of us all have it. Now, I have to be honest that this discovery journey has taken me years. So tonight's exercise is just a little testing point. And I hope that everyone can take this away and keep working on it. Now let's do a little bit of exercise. We all have this exercise sheet, which is double-sided, right? Yay, awesome. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of icebreaker. And the first exercise is, as you can see the timer on it, it's 20 seconds, okay? So we don't have too much time. Everyone's got pen? Let's get settled. Yep, excellent, got pen. Get settled. You've got 20 seconds for the first one.
What is shot?
Huh?
What is it?
Okay, well, 20 seconds, I can reveal it. Otherwise, you have 5 more seconds. That's the point. Okay, I love this exercise. I'm going to tell you why after we finish. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to draw a sunset, and 20 seconds starts now. Just a sunset.
Ten more seconds.
Accountability body works.
Time up.
Time out! Alright, cool. Alright, so if I'm not mistaken, I'm sure everyone will have a half sun, like half sun, some sort of horizon, water, and if you're lucky, you may have birds or clouds. Hands up if I was right. If you hit any of these 5. Okay, look around the room. Look at everybody's drawing, right? Next to you, people next to you. Look how similar. How similar is everyone's drawing. Alright, cool. Now we're getting into the second exercise. The second exercise, this time, seconds we've got. And we've got accountability buddy with timers on. This time, you're going to draw a sunset you last saw. You last saw. Okay? The last sunset you saw. Timer starts now. 40 seconds.
Halfway through.
Feeling loved?
Very much. 10 more seconds.
Panic.
5, 3, 0.
Dun-dun-dun. Now, turn around and look at everybody's drawing. Okay. Oh, I like that. Okay. That's cool. Suddenly, I'm sure if you looked around and suddenly all I said was the sunset you last saw, and I added 3 additional words, and everyone's execution is completely different, right? And the story is why I love this exercise, and I love doing it with every stakeholder, because every time I do this exercise, and this is the metaphor, if I tell you a generic brief, everyone's execution turns generic, just like the first sunset. But if I add a little bit of context with a different word, suddenly everyone becomes creative, right? Your juice is flowing. Everyone goes to different places. And so this is an indication of every single word you choose has the power to influence the whole story. It goes to your story, your About Me page, the brief that you give to your team, and how you define success, all of it. So every single word we choose has the power to influence everything. With that in mind, let's get into our exercise about ourselves. Okay, so the first exercise we want to do, I love this exercise. It's so simple, and I yet still use it today. It's how we discover our unique qualities. It's about who we are and what we do. And so normally we ask people, what do you do? And they will give you a title answer, right? I'm a product designer, I'm a product manager, I'm a strategist, whatever. Okay, cool, that's the generic way of everybody goes, where everybody goes. So I learned this 4-question technique from a very smart sales executive that I used to work before. And I love learning these kind of little techniques from everyone that's outside of design, right? And I encourage you to do so, to have a conversation with your stakeholders. I'm going to use one of the example with one of my previous clients who's a buyer's agent, and I was doing branding for this guy. And so this is the 4th question. What do you do? He goes, I'm a buyer's agent. The 2nd question is, what's your specialty and superpower? The 3rd question is, who are your clients? And the last one, what is the lasting impact you help create for your clients? And this is the answer that we have wordsmithed after multiple rounds, and this is the answer he gave me, right? We provide off-market deals. That's unique value proposition. That's different from your competitors. And who are your clients? Very specific. This is the people that I work for. And I'm specifically really good at working with these people. That last question is the most important one. What is the last impact you helped create for your client? And after multiple wordsmiths, we came to this sentence because it's simple and it has an emotional factor. I help people discover their dream home. So suddenly, you're not just a buyer's agent. You don't just get paid to do what you do. Actually, you provide value to help people discover their dream home. That's a big deal, right? So these 4 questions is our next exercise, and let's get into some Zen moment. And you have 5 minutes actually. We're gonna do 5 minutes for this one. let's get into reflection for what you do, who you are, who do you want to serve, who do you want to, not who you're serving, and the lasting impact you want to help people achieve. If you flip your worksheet on the second page, that's the first one. Fill it in. Let's do 5 minutes, starts now.
That's time. Busy taking pictures.
It's a good sunset.
Sunset is great. Yeah.
It's like Eiffel Tower.
Guys, in case you need a nice new sunset, look out the window.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so I hope that everyone had a little bit of like deep thinking. And there was one question came out. What's interesting is like, who do you serve, right? This is a big question because you don't serve everybody. Think about who do you want to work for? Who aligns with you value-wise? Something for you for taking home. All right, so now the second part of this exercise is that we're gonna flip the story. And I love this. It's to talk about the how, the impact before the what. And that is the one sentence. So this is the original version, right? Buyer's agent, question 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the second part is flipping the story, and it looks like this. I help first-time home buyers to discover their dream home by providing exclusive off-market insights. And the last bit almost becomes redundant. I'm a buyer's agent. Blah, who cares? Because you already telling me what your superpower is. It doesn't matter what your title is anymore, right? So now, there you go. This is what we're gonna do. The key is to be really clear before we do this, right? To who you want to work with, what impact you're uniquely positioned to create. And I think all of us should have a criteria of the people and the company we uniquely positioned to serve and uniquely positioned to create an impact for, okay? Something for you to do more deep reflection, perhaps over the holiday season. All right, so this is my example before we get into yours. My example, and this maybe needs a little bit of like wordsmithing for your version. And sometimes you write the first one and you're like, second one, I'm gonna like change these words just to make it sound a little flowy. So when I was working with a lot of startup founders, I was specifically focusing on growth. So my job was a growth product designer by title, right? So I came up with these 2 lines. Please do not steal this. What's my specialty? My specialty is turn readers into fans and visitors into customers. That's what I do for you. Do you want this? And if you want this, you come and find me. And so who are my clients? Very important. I don't just work with any startups. I want to work with VC-backed companies. Why? Because I don't want to get paid pennies. Okay? And I also wanted companies who already proven their product line, already proven that they can do it, product market fit, all of that kind of stuff. You need to take into consideration. So what is the lasting impact I used to help create for my client? It's to scale product and business values strategically and sustainably, so that they don't go down 2 years down the road and go, oh shit, we have so much design debt that we now have to backtrack, all of that kind of stuff. So that is the example. And this is now, turning this into flipping the story. Looks like this. I work with VC-backed companies to scale product and business value strategically and sustainably by turning readers into fans and visitors into customers. And this part is basically my hard skill, but I can still do this without actually, sometimes not even touching design, right? So that is something that you can probably wordsmith into your second part. It's flipping your story from the first into the second template. And we also have 5 minutes for this one. Let's go. Okay, cool. So hopefully everyone has some brain juice turning and alcohol isn't messing up our thinking. So I actually wanted to ask Kylie to share, and she also kind of did this exactly the same time as you, right? So this is first draft. Everyone just think about this as the first draft. And you can always like develop a little bit more. Kylie, do you want to share yours? Just the second version, the flip statement.
Flip statement. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah? All right.
Yeah.
So I'm just reading that now. Hello. Okay, that's right. Okay, so I've written, once again, first version. So I help product and design talent to build their dream careers in finance and tech by matching them with the right leaders for their personal work style to maximize their growth as a recruitment consultant.
Yeah, and this is brilliant. And knowing Kylie, because I know Kylie for like 2 years now, and I looked at it and I said to Kylie, I was like, you have so much more than just this, right? So this is the first draft. The second question you want to really ask yourself is, knowing Kylie, I know that Kylie is a very special recruitment agent, that she really listens to you. And she doesn't just match you because the job needs it. She always making sure she has the ability to read people, you know, on the value level. And so that's like the deep down, you know, emotional factors that you may be able to inject it in. Yeah, so first draft, brilliant. Second draft, Christmas season.
Yes.
Okay. Brilliant, thank you. So hopefully, does anyone else want to share their statement? Just for funsies.
I'll do mine.
Yes. No, that's good, weird's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I help the curious who are seeking harmonious, meaningful solutions find ways to be more of who they want, find ways to be more of who they are in the world, shining a light and seeing possibilities where others see none. I'm an idea explorer, service system solution designer, and coach.
Wow, that's brilliant. That is so good. So if I come to your, sorry, what's your name again? Penny. If I come to Penny's website, and the first thing, you know, Penny, you can wordsmith that, make it real more like simple but punchy and memorable, right? Like if I come to your website and I see that, I know instantly this person has taken the time to do self-reflection, she's self-aware, and she knows exactly what she can deliver. Like it's so much more powerful than just someone on a design. You know what I mean? Great stuff. I love that statement. It's so emotional, and it's got that functional level, emotional level, and it evokes almost like a future perspective as well. I can almost see like the outcome of what you're trying to create. That's brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, so I hope everyone finds that exercise helpful and continue to evolve this as you know, go home, take it away with you, and use GPT, but use your brand first. Okay, so what if I have multiple identities? And this is obviously my personal challenge, as you can see. Like I've done so many things, and I'm like, how can I tick all the boxes, right? Like nowadays, no one is doing one job anymore. Everyone is having multiple things, and all of these things contribute to your superpower and your ability. So how can we make it more known? Of course, you can have multiple statements to target different people. And so this is the course that I run, and so I do this 3 times a year. And so that is a completely different role to my day job as a design leader. So this is now my new statement. And I'm gonna just give you the consolidated version. I coach experienced designers to transform into strategic business partners by confidently drive business value through every single design decision. Because I can see that a lot of designers doesn't have that connection, and they need that help, and therefore I'm feeling that gap, right? So you wanted to be able to really look into the gaps of the market, who you really are, what makes you stand out, what people need. Love that. Okay, so I think that discovering your hybrid superpower is truly the blurry line to mark you as the different candidate to the rest of the market. It's what you can do, things that nobody else can do, and you can see things that nobody else can see. So you should really highlight those skills and make it known. And if I'm speaking from experience and also conversation with a lot of leaders around the world, if they are interviewing or look at designers' portfolios, after the landing page or your first case study, the About Me page is the most read second page for everybody, right? So if you can't fit your whole story into that first line, that's okay. You still have the About Me. And that's like progressive disclosure, right? You read the first thing, you got curious. I want to find out more about this person. You keep discovering a lot about that person. So utilize your About Me page to your full potential. Okay, so lastly, I wanted to leave you with this thing, and I love this quote. the qualities you use to attract others will attract those with the same quality. So really think about who you are, who do you want to serve, and what values you can provide. Thank you so much for participating today, and I hope you find valuable.
Do you want on your course?
Oh yes, so for those who are designers and you wanted to develop your business skills, this course is running 3 times a year, and the next cohort starts next week, next Friday. And so you can take $100 off by using the code SydDT, SYDDT. It's on your sheet anyway. You can just scan the code and then look at all the testimonials. I'm not going to repeat it here, but I've done 5-6 cohorts now, and up to this point, I'm actually very proud of this achievement. So hopefully I can help more people. Thank you so much.
Great. Do you want to do any questions at all?
Yeah, questions?
Does anyone have any questions for Jac at all, or?
Feelings, questions, reflections, funsies? Yes, at the back.
I really liked your presentation. I'll say that. The question I have, the burning question, was your statement around you're helping designers. Does that mean there is a fundamental flaw in design leadership? And that is what, and this, because this goes on to a little bit of a design question at the moment around senior design leaders being respected in industries. Do you feel that there needs to be more mentorship for design leaders?
Oh yes, absolutely. And I think all of this comes down to, like me personally, it's all networking. So coming to events like this, and I love to say this, is that a lot of people think about networking, and especially introvert designers or introvert individuals shy away, and they instantly feel like stressed out to go to events and meet people in person, especially when they're by themselves and they don't have any like buddies to go with them. And so this is my little techniques, right? And I've been doing this since I've taken my career a little bit more seriously. Is I do offline networking a lot. And so if I see sadly LinkedIn is the platform that we all use. And so I am on there and I know exactly who I admire, whose work or their voices and their insights that I actually really believe. And so I follow those people and I will comment on their insights if I feel like I can contribute. Then I will take it into the DM level and I will appreciate their contribution to the world. And slowly I'm doing this like what I call soft behind the scene networking. And guess what? This is like, we're all human, so we're all, observing those energies exchanging. If I was commenting on this particular person's input, they feel acknowledged, right? So it's a feel-good factor, and they see my name popping up here and there, and then I inbox them again, they see my name again, and suddenly I'm connecting them softly. And what's amazing about this design community, and especially on the leadership level, is exactly everyone has that same thinking as you. It looks like most of the mentor opportunities for junior people, but I need more. And so if you think the same, most likely the other people will feel the same. So if you reach out, most likely they're going to feel like, oh my God, I have the exact same feeling. So that is how I actually utilize this technique to connect with people like Aniruddha, right? We connected on LinkedIn. Now he's my, accountability body and clocker. And so, yeah, it's this type of connections that become actually really meaningful, and you can utilize this to your best advantage. And I feel like it's not just me, but the design industry is amazing at supporting one another. And so I would never reach out and go, hey, do you have 5 minutes for coffee? No one has time if they don't know you, right? So know the techniques of communication, and don't just go in and go, I want your time. Because time is the most precious thing anyone can give to you. We need to earn it. Yeah, so I will do that. Let's connect. Yes. Yes. There's one more
question. What does design leadership mean, and who's an effective design leader? What are the characteristic traits?
Oh, the traits. Wow, this is a great question. Can I maybe get other contributions in the room to answer this question? I'd like to hear Andy Do you want to contribute to this? Throwing you under the bus. Because Andy is incredible. If anyone hasn't connected him on LinkedIn, this is the guy. Design leader, what are the good traits in your opinion?
Have a mic or do I
I
just
do.
shout out loud? I can shout out loud. Thank you for putting me on the spot.
Yeah, that's what good friends do.
I think a design leader, in my mind, is someone who doesn't care so much about, I don't know how to phrase it. Basically, they're like looking to build products and experiences, but by elevating people's impact along the way. So I'm a very people-first leader. Whenever I've managed teams, I've always led with people first, product second. So I find good leaders are those who are able to extract the good qualities of the people that they manage, take them along the journey, walk along with them in the trenches, and build products which are useful for the stakeholders, users, customers, and the business overall. So that's all I can say when I'm put on the
Yeah,
side.
and then all of this, it underlines with all of this is the ability to communicate, knowing when to say what and when to push and pull. And I feel like that is something that I've observed. I mean, me and Andy hasn't actually worked together in a team, but I go to Andy whenever I need support, right? Like when I'm going stuck in this like situation, what do I do, or like how do I see it differently? And I find Andy as the design leader is someone who's really good at listening. And when they listen, when you're stressed, and like let's say your team's stressed and they complain about something to you, or like they get, oh my god, da, 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 right? So when people stress, their sentences tend to be very cluttered. But when I'm stressed and communicated that way, I find that Andy was able to actually clearly compartmentalize all these sentences and then rebuild what he understands as what the problem is, and to be able to give me a non-biased suggestion. So it pushes me to a direction, but doesn't give me the answer. But he motivates me, like a good leader, motivates me to seek my own answer in my own way, which is so important. Yeah, I'm still learning all the time. A great question. Like there's a million answers to this, of course. Yeah. Is that something that you're looking to go into next? Become a design leader, or you already are?
Well, I don't know where I go. I'm in the right place now, but it's more like to identify the opportunities for learning as they come.
And sometimes I actually did this one thing with Andy. We did a workshop on like, as you go further into your career, right? Like you have the decision to make a decision. Go, I want to stay as the hands-on craft person. I want to be really on product, and I want to become a super IC, like high-level IC person. Great. You need to do your self-awareness and be able to know what serves you and what doesn't serve you. So exactly those exercises again. But if you have the traits to become the leader, that's a completely different skill set, right? So ask yourself those questions. What are the different requirements on these different pathways that ultimately that's gonna suit me and I can provide value for? And then you can slowly test it out and experiment. Nothing is ever, oh my god, this is what I'm gonna do for the next 10 years. You are testing, experiment. If we see life as a design thinking process, everything is experiment, nothing's a big deal. You're just trying everything.
Just to add to that, so I think I'm very passionate about design leadership in general. And I think as a design leader, if you are being a design leader, you're no longer the designer. You're trying to help others be the designer. And more so to what you've mentioned about communication. It's not about what you say, it's all about how you can help this person with this perspective communicate with this person with a different perspective. So they can see the different perspectives and work out how do we make that come together to design a coherent whole. And I think it's all about facilitation, communication, and sometimes it's the easiest job in the world because everybody else does all the work.
Yeah.
And it's facilitation.
I think I just want to add as well, like if you are going through any interview process, don't be afraid to ask those types of questions as well to your potential leader. I mean, people are always asking you potentially, oh, tell me about a time you've done this, that, and the other. Like, flip it back on them as well if you get your chance at the end to ask them how they've handled certain situations, whether it's escalations within the team and so on and so forth. Because, yeah, lots of people think that they can't ask those questions, but you absolutely can and you should. And I think people's answers will be very telling in terms of whether the...
Can I add to that?
Yes.
That's my favorite question to ask in interviews is, tell me about a time design was an important part of a product feature that you shipped, and where did that idea come from? Did it come from design or product or engineering? And I've seen people respond to this question fantastically, and I know this is the place that I want to work at, and I've seen people crumble, and I've had like one person even ask me, do I tell you about an example in this job or my previous one? Like, you didn't understand the question.
They're trying to buy time.
And I'm like, yes, this job, I want to take a job at this company, you're hired at this company. So I've seen people crumble and also seen people respond to in a way that really I want to work for them, and that's really helped me a lot.
It's a great question.
Yeah.
Another quick perspective is that I believe that most design leadership happens without the title.
Yeah.
Yes. So good. Oh my God, there's so much to unpack. Maybe that's a talk on its own. Like it's a whole topic. Great. Yes.
I'll ask a design HR question then from this. So pressure from the last 3 years, pressure of AI. A lot of young designers, good designers, have been thrust into design leadership. They've been hands-on, much like they said. They're not design leaders, they're designers. And they're suddenly expected to be leaders, so their leadership skills are actually quite poor. They're great at execution, they're great at executional thinking, but their leadership is poor, and that leads to a lot more organisational distrust of design. Unfortunately, that's the byproduct of young design leaders. Are you seeing that more and more in organisations? Is that the way we're going through at the moment? How are big organisations managing it? Because that is a growing topic.
That is such a good question. Maybe I'll just throw a quick one on antidote for myself. Is that that's another question that I always ask when I'm at the interview is what kind of investment the company would do to invest in designers' growth, either as leadership growth or career growth. What's that? If you want to get down to specifics, what kind of events, communities that you're building, budgets that you have to help them grow? Because if they don't, then this question is this the company value aligned with yours? So and that usually is a telltale sign as well into what kind of leadership that they are trying to build, and if they really pay attention to it. That's my antidote.
I think people would actually be surprised by, like, let's say you're a young designer and you get thrust into that situation. Actually just going out and proactively asking for the training and support if you just happen to find yourself in a situation I've seen a lot of is companies flattening structures, which then by default that happens where young leaders get put into it. But a lot of people just don't ask sometimes for the support. Sometimes they do and they don't get it, and you know what, those companies are just shit, for lack of a better word. They should be doing more to support their people, but they don't always. But also, you don't get what you don't ask for, so really just trying to see if there's a way that you can do that to benefit your... And also, like Jac has said, it's coming into those conversations with this is the value that it will have, not just for me, but for everyone and the entire company and the rest of the team, which is why we should be doing it if this is the situation that we're in, and framing it that way whenever you're asking for any sort of training or so on and so forth. But yeah, no, if they give you a hard no and they're being like that, give me a call.
and there is a difference between design leadership and design management.
Yeah.
And when we conflate the two, then we end up with weird conversations.
Yeah. But on that topic, where like young designers IC level suddenly got put into that position, and if anyone in the room is in that position, I have been through that, and I want to tell you the mistake I've made. I used to think as soon as the title says I'm a manager or a leader or something, I need to like act a certain way. But sometimes the real power is down to your vulnerability. To say, actually, I don't know this yet, but I'm going to find out. Okay, and I think this is the mindset that suddenly opened up so many doors, because if the company is not in this particular position at that point in time to invest into my leadership learning, guess what? I'm going to put in my money into it, because I know every single dollar that I invest, it's going to bring back a lot more, and that's been the experience so far, right? So try to be your own boss, but trying to be as down to earth. If you don't know nothing, just say, I don't know anything about this, and I'm going to find out, or something. One of the best leader in my experience, in the work experience in the past, I remember he constantly makes me feel like he's so honest about what he can and cannot do, and that makes me trust that person even more. And so I feel like if you're the younger management leadership level, it's completely okay to say, I don't know.
Yeah.
Can I add to that?
Yes, please.
Also, I found this as moving into design leadership, design management, is that leadership need not only come from design. I've had extremely amazing mentors from engineering and product management as well, who have mentored me into leadership, not just design leadership, but leadership as a whole. And I've learned a lot from that lateral approach, which is not very design focused. And I've tried to blend the design leadership into engineering leadership together to form the kind of leadership I wanted to follow.
Yeah, we can learn so much more from the colleagues at work, and not just from the product teams as well, right? Like people from finance, people from I learned a lot from salespeople. There's so much that we can just trust your instinct and be okay with not being perfect. Yes.
Thank you for your statement, your template statement. I think it helps having a framework. I'm a sucker for frameworks. I want to ask, as a junior designer, how can I find my core proposition if I don't have experience or perhaps the evidence for the things I like?
Yeah.
And also, second question is, how do I balance in that statement specificity and broadness? Because I want to be unique, so I want to be specific, but I feel like perhaps that might limit the range of opportunities that might seek out for that specific niche.
Yeah.
But I also want to be broad to to multiple companies, especially as a junior designer.
Yeah. So you want a bit of everything. Yes. And I think that's always a bit of everything. It's a good mindset to have when you're starting out, always, right? But just like I did. I did all sorts of different designs to try out to see what I like and what truly what I can do. And so at the beginning, I really believe your energy, like that last quote I shared with you, right? The quality that you use attracts the quality of the people that comes to you. And so instead, I noticed that you said something about, I don't want to limit my range. And so what's your range, right? So ask yourself those questions so that when you are putting up together the statement, you don't need to be too limit. You can say the company that's creating impact for X, right? If you're really into, for example, finance related industries, you can do that first, and then you can change that statement again a year later after you try out different things. But I think it's really important to truly know what you like by coming to these events, having conversations with people, and do your own research. Yeah, but try not to please people just because you think that's the way to get hired. Usually, it doesn't flow that way. But yeah, experiment.
I have a question. So I'm just going to preface this with something for the room, which is a saying that I say to a lot of people is lawyers should not defend themselves in court, pharmacists should not prescribe their own drugs, and designers should not do their own branding. So I'm a designer, but I cannot pick a paint color for shit. My entire flat is blue. I sympathize with Mark Zuckerberg on a whole new level now. You can't pick. But this is what I'm kind of talking about with design portfolios. You kind of framed it around it should represent you, it should represent you, but I want you to kind of comment, or your own personal comment on the fact that it is an advertising document that's not meant for other designers. It is ostensibly meant for maybe recruiters, for whoever's the first pass when you hand over your resume. So it is a key intention, I feel, between it's meant to represent you, but this is a document that people like to compare to others and easily compare. So I just want to, if you have thoughts around that, that would just be great, because I think there's a bit of that coming out of the room here.
Yeah. I had those exact same thoughts when I was doing my own website. And for those who are curious, it's just jacalin.com. And that is the brilliant, sorry, this sidetrack, but yeah, so like on that website, I've spent a lot of the time asking those exact questions. What colors should I choose? What typography should I use? Where should I put the information? So I have a little technique actually, because back then when I was doing branding for clients, I had questions to send out, almost like a self-reflective questions. And it's like me doing a survey for myself. And I send it out to all of my friends and people that I trust. And I still have it somewhere, but one day I'm gonna publish it. I ask people, what color, if you can use 3 words to describe me, what would those 3 words be, right? And I ask people, if you can count on me on one thing, what is that one thing that you can count on me for? And so all of these questions starting to help me unpack who I am. And then I also have a question, if I was a superhero in any movie, which superhero am I? If you were gonna describe me with 2 colors, can you choose 2 colors that describe me and why? And so only 7 questions I sent out to my network. And I had like about 15 people replied, and I used those answers to consolidate. And I had a whole mural of all these like movie characters and slowly develop in a way that I think is simple enough. So because to your point, that it's meant to be for other people to read. So if people come into you and go, I think you're Superman, you're not gonna use all the Superman crazy thing, right? Like you're a designer, you've gotta evolve from that, that's just a hint. So, but I can use other elements to represent that somehow, right? It could be a choice of word, it could be just literally a line of a color that represents something. And so I use those kind of evolvement thinking process to consolidate back into what I think is almost timeless. I don't have to update it all the time. And it's to a point that when I believe is really easy for people to digest. Because at the end of the day, your portfolio is meant to be read, meant to be consumed. It needs to deliver whatever you want to deliver super quickly, right? So, and it's about how people feel about it, not just the words as well. So, to me as a designer, I would look at a portfolio and I would ask myself, how does this designer make choices? Why did that person make choice to put this heading on, to put that picture there, to put this background there, to put that call to action there? Like everything you choose to do is telling me who you are and how you make decisions. And so those decisions come from multiple layers of self-reflection and it's a long process. I don't recommend taking too long on your website though. Like I would say, just do something that's simple, but remember that sunset challenge. Every single word that you choose has the power. So if you can choose one word that represents 5 words, do that. You know, yeah, I hope that answers the question, but it's a long process.
Yeah.
All right.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Jac.
Thank you.
Yeah. And we're I can't remember the. Oh. Amazing.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much for
I can't remember the name of the pub.
The Occidental.
The Occidental. We do need to get out of here, but we will continue the conversation just across the road at the Occidental. So, yes, thank you again, everyone. Next slide. Oh, sorry. And also, if you want to come to the next event, scan the QR code, and yeah, hope to see you there.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
That was amazing.